and if you don't appreciate who you are, there is a real big chance that your purpose of life and all the rejections that you have regarding professional accomplishment, personal satisfaction, and everything, we have a big, great chance of failing. So self-esteem is the key, in my opinion. As grown-ups, I think that if you are on your 40s and 30s and even 50s, you should be that connection between the new generation and the old generation. So you should pose yourself as a reliable source of knowledge, expertise, self-esteem, like I said before, qualification. So you should be, that generation that would put together two different times of our struggle. The little children and the elderly people should see in you and on you the factor that will keep things happening. So you really should be that link between the young kids who are looking at you as an example, as a role model, and at the same time the assurance of all the values and the legacy and like I said before, the cultural heritage of people who came before us, and prepare the future for us to be who and what we are. Okay. Regarding faith, I think that one should preserve your own beliefs in whatever kind of religion or spirituality. One should preserve and keep his or her belief, but at the same time, this is very important. Respect somebody else's creed, to respect somebody else's ways of understanding the world and the reality, and and at the same time respect the ones who also are skeptical, because I truly believe that the skepticism is also a way of trying to contribute to the advancement of black people around the globe, because not necessarily need to be a religious or a spiritual person in order to contribute to the community. In that regards, I think that we should respect all kinds of approach to life, included or not, the belief in a creator or some kind of evolutional manifestation, or even the absence of religious belief. I think that when it comes to black people, all kinds of thoughts and philosophies and approach to life should be respected and well accepted. Okay. I think that this is one very sensitive issue when it comes to financial stability, because historically, and considering that we live in a ever-growing globalized society, we have to master our financial literacy, regarding the opening of businesses in our community, to teach our communities, black communities throughout the globe, to open their own businesses, to multiplicate wealth in businesses and entrepreneurship from our people to our people. We have to know how to generate and cultivate and multiply capital and businesses and all kinds of revenues and incomings that can create a solid and consistent, sustainable environment regarding financial activities to our people. We need to know how to invest in the stock market. We need to know about bonds and saves and international exchange, and I think that the establishment of a strong working class for black people, not only in the Western hemisphere, but also in Europe and Africa, Middle East, would solve most of the problems that we have been facing for the last 100 years since the establishment of the Industrial Revolution. We need to know how to adapt, not only with the labor, physical labor, but also with intellectually, financially. We need to know how to master the tools and the abilities that put other people on the top of the social pyramid and in control of the industries, academic production, banking, and heavy industry, oil prospection, up-to-date technology and everything. Okay, we live in the 21st century where we have sexual preferences. We have alternate societies. We have to understand that we're not the only people on the planet. We have the Inuits in North Pole. We have Pygmies in Central Africa. We have Aborigines in Australia. We have the native populations in North, Central, and South America. So we live in a diverse planet, and we need to know how we, as black people from African descent, can at the same time live in a contemporary society and preserve who we are, preserve where we came from, preserve our traditions, our sense of brotherhood, and whenever necessary, stand up for who and what we are. Okay. Also, we live in a very unstable planet. Our natural resources are finishing. We need to know how to interact with the water sources. We need to master the education on energy preservation, sustainability. We need to know how to, create agricultural alternatives that will minimize the impact of famine and starvation in Africa and in India and etc. And we are part of the world. We are part of the mechanism that that control that food distribution, water distribution, energy distribution. Because the bottom line is, at the end of the day, we consume electricity. We have to drink water. We have to feed ourselves, our kids, our families. So, but at the same time, we need to know more. We have to get some knowledge. We have to, to dive into sustainability issues, because the natural sources are not forever. We have to know what we're going to do in the future generations, what we can do now to guarantee that our, 3, 4, 5 generations from now, our successors will have, guaranteed food supply, water supply, energy supply. This is very important. This is something that we should keep in mind as well as black people. And last but not least, I think that we have to learn about Africa. We have to read about Africa. We have to study about Africa. We have to listen about Africa. We have to look at Africa. We have to go back to the roots, because the continent explains who we are, and explains our history, explain our genetic formation, explains our history, explains everything regarding black folks around the world. I'm here now. My body's here, but my soul is in Africa. So we have to know what's happening in the north, south, west, and east of Africa, Central Africa. People there. What are the ethnics? Who are those people? How many countries are there in Africa? Where did my ancestors came from? Am I a Wolof? Am I a Ashanti? Am I a Wolof? Where? Okay, I'm here in Brazil, but where do my roots stem from? So, regarding African heritage, I don't know my history. I know that I'm Brazil, but I certainly 4 or 5 generations before one of those, slave ships, probably my great father and mother came from Angola or Nigeria or, Congo or whatever. I need to know that. It's a necessity, because the more knowledge I have about myself, the stronger citizen I will be in this modern society. I still have some other issues that I, little by little, day by day, I would like to exchange and ideas with you and thoughts with you, people, black people from around the world. So let's get together. Let's exchange ideas. Let's reunite again with the use of the internet. I think we can do that. We can talk to each other. We can exchange ideas. The information nowadays run fast. We can, get some knowledge, teach each other, learn from one another, and create the huge and beautiful African summit that we once were. Okay, I'll be getting back to you guys. Thank you very much for all of you, and peace.